The latest on COVID-19, Governor Pritzker and health officials praising Illinoisans for their efforts to slow the spread as that state moves into phase 4.
The governor says he's not afraid to move backwards if he sees a spike in numbers. Joining us now to talk about the next phase, is Dr. Rachel Rubin. She's a senior medical officer of the Cook County Department of Public Health. Thank you, doctor, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
First question is, as we move to phase 4, the governor is saying summer camps can open. My first question is it safe for kids to be in such close proximity right now?
You know, I do think it's a risk. On the other hand, under the appropriate controlled circumstances, it can be done safely, but it is indeed a risk. There's all kinds of reasons to try to work with these kinds of programs. Children have been cooped up now for several months, and now as things are opening up, parents are going back to work. They may have to choose between working or taking care of their children at home. And so for children to be able to go to summer camp, that might be essential for the parents to be able to work. It also means that the children are going to be able to be out there and at least having a certain level of supervision while they try to enjoy the outdoors and get some physical activity and other kinds of social interaction, which is so important for child development.
Doctor, talk to us about on the adult level. It's so important for the bars and restaurants to reopen, to stay open, right? To stay in business. But those by nature would seem to be a place where clusters could occur. So social distancing has to be the most important thing in those settings, I would presume, if that can be done.
Yes, social distancing is extremely important and the most important thing probably within restaurant situations. Originally, there was, for a week or two, there was outdoor dining was allowed for a short period of time where tables were spread 6 feet apart. All servers and all other staff within the restaurants have to be wearing masks at all times. And frankly, if you're a patron of one of those restaurants and the staff are not wearing masks, I would say something about it. And also there has to be the appropriate cleaning of the tables and the chairs between each visitor, and also who you dine with. If you're going with your immediate family who you have been with all along in a living situation, to go out and have a meal with them in an outdoor table where there is sufficient air circulation, because indeed you are in an open air situation. And you have to take your masks off to eat, but where everybody else, the servers and such, all have masks on, I think that that's relatively safe. However, we are now moving into indoor dining, even though the tables are supposed to be spaced at least 6 feet apart, and all of the staff are supposed to be wearing masks and gloves and maintaining social distancing themselves as much as is possible. But that is a little more risky because you don't have the same level of air exchange.
Right. Now, Doctor, gyms are also going to reopen, and I read something today. There was some research that shows that gyms aren't as bad during this pandemic as originally thought. What are your views on that?
Well, I think that they're saying that gyms may not be as bad is because as time has gone on and we've learned more and more about the transmissibility and modes of transmission of the virus, is that the surface contact between individuals doesn't seem to be quite as important as actually being in the breathing zone of another individual. But that doesn't mean that gyms, fitness centers are not risky. Again, there has to be this social distancing. And if you think about it, if you're next to somebody and the both of you are running full steam on a treadmill and you're both breathing very hard and you can't do that with a mask on, I think that there is a risk of infecting each other, or obviously the person who is positive infecting their neighbor who they are running with. Now, if people are spread out, and if it's a big room such that there is appropriate air circulation, it's probably okay. But in a gym, if you're exercising vigorously, at least, you can't wear a mask appropriately and to be able to exercise. So I think that is a concern in fitness centers and gyms.
Very important matters. Doctor, we thank you so much for joining us this evening. You take care.
You're very welcome. Have a good night.
Coming up, we check